So today's the Wednesday the 24th of May. I think it's the 24th anyway. And me gonna move some wood chip. There's a bit big pile of wood chip that's been delivered, but we're getting the summer house delivered tomorrow, I think it is. So we need to clear some of it so that the lorry can get through to bring it. So we've got to move some of that enormous pile there. You ready for some hard work, Connor? Yeah. I have had to do some watering on my own plot first though, because some things were really drying out. All of it has done a little bit of rain apparently when I was on holiday last week. It's not done much, so yeah, I've got 2 wheelie bins behind my shed and they're getting nearly empty now, so I'm going to have to, with no tap or anything like that on here, with no water supply, so I'm going to have to fill some containers and bring it from home on Saturday. Oh, hang on, we want to set it from over there. We do, because the lorry has to get through.
Yeah, you dummy, that's what I said.
Alright, over there then. Go on then. That shovel was brilliant. Just to remind Dad to get it from round. Like it, Grandma's got one. Like it said, he's going to ask Grandma is the one in the garage. So we've just spread a little bit more wood chip that way. The summer house is going over there with that trailer is, and some down that way. Part of this was already done by somebody else, but we've just carried it on down from there to the end of the pond. And I did put a little bit more on my own plot. So I've just put some on the path, and I've just put some over there where the polytunnel's going to be to spread round later. Right, we're off home. I did bring a drink, but Connor's drunk it all, and I've not even had one little drop. It's alright though, I'd rather Connor have it. I'm saying I did bring a drink, but you've not left me one little drop. It's alright though. If I die on the way home, I don't know. Just cover me up or something with some bushes. What did you say? Go on, say what you said. He said he'd just leave me there wherever I fell off my bike. We've seen a little blue tick going in and out of this box as well that Connor had made, or decorated should I say. So I'll try and get footage of that next time we come. I've decided I'm not quite happy with my garden at the minute. There are 2 main reasons. One of them is that I've not got enough height because I lost those 2 cordylines. I was banking on them to give a little bit of height, because in a subtropical garden you want different levels, you know, from like high up in the canopy, and then you've got mid level, and then you've got your lower plants and that. That's a time thing though. I can be patient and wait for that. I can't afford really enormous plants. So, I mean, the garden's in its early years of it looking like that, so you know, it's to be expected. Unless you've got thousands of pounds to spend. I haven't. But the other thing that's really bugging me is it looks scruffy. And I've worked out the reason that it looks scruffy is because there are a lot of little tiny flowered frothy plants, if you know what I mean. Whereas for subtropical you want big leafy plants that make an impact, and also that some of them are so squashed together you can't even see them, you know, because I want it to look full, but in doing that now some of them have outcompeted and squashed the other ones out. So I know it's not the right time of year to move things, but I feel that urge to move some of them. I've got a Hertz tongue fern at the back of the pond. You can't see it at all, so I might take that out, or take the one that's squashing it out, because I'd rather have the Hertz tongue fern than the normal fern. I've got loads of that everywhere. The other thing is the stalks. Now, I did say a couple of weeks back, or even on the first tour, sorry, I keep looking threatening, don't I, with my scissors? It's because I'm going ready to snip. Yeah, on my tour, I think it was, I wasn't sure if that fitted in with my theme, but I've decided no, it doesn't. It's a beautiful flower. There are beautiful flowers that I'm cutting back now, but they just don't fit in. They're not making me happy. So you can use stalks apparently. I've just looked up. You can use them for cut flowers. So I'm going to snip them and put those in a vase. I'm going to trim. I think it's Campanula. I'd rather have it as a mound of green rather than with its flowers on. When it gets its lovely blue flowers on, to me it starts making the area look untidy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going scissors in hand to snip. It's not the best thing to use, but I've not got no secateurs. I always break them. Maybe it's because I buy cheap, but I'm a cheapskate. I am. Yeah, so I'll do that now. Time I've noticed that they smell those. It said that they smell the fragrance on the internet, but I thought no, they don't. But they do. It's subtle though. Well, I think I'll be able to smell it more in the house. Don't laugh at my flower arranging skills. I think you're supposed to have like a triangle shape, aren't you, really? But maybe it'd look nice with some ferns or something sticking in. But right, so I'm going to cut that Campanula now, give it a bit of a trim, and as well I'm just going to cut the flower heads off. They've all died back now, the Spanish bluebells, because that's making it all scruffy. And there's a plant I can't remember the name of. Somebody had escaped. What do you think you're up to? Eh? Flapping your way out? You going back in? Pet my nose, are you? Put you back in. Your friends are looking for you. My battery went dead, but that looks better to me. I have took out as well Aquilegia and poppies. I know people might think that's absolute sacrilege, and they're beautiful, but they just don't go. I did try and transplant the poppies actually, the Welsh poppies, the orange and yellow ones. I did try and transplant some of them the other day, but as you can see they've not liked it. So I have tried to save some because I was going to take them up to the allotment, but yeah, so as well I've cut back the bluebells. I've weeded around the back there was a load of cleavers. Note to self, don't wear a woolly jumper when you're weeding cleavers. We all know how I know that. These are the flower heads that I've cut off the... It says on the picture this app, that's the foliage of it. I do like the foliage, it's quite big and leafy, a bit like a heuchera. I think it called it fringe flower or fringe cup flower or something like that. I've never known that name, that's not what I know it by. But anyway, that's the plant I meant, that's frothy. And also, sorry for spinning you around, the saxifrage, which I like as a ground cover plant, but again, frothy flowers is not what I'm looking for. So see, I feel like it needs something with a little bit of height over there. That was the acer that died, and that was my height, it was up to the height of the fence. I can't really grow anything higher than that because next door isn't fond of me having trees and stuff. So, you know, you've got to try and live peacefully with people, haven't you? So I don't want to annoy them, but and I do agree, it does cut off the shade if there's something growing against the fence. And mainly I do want my shade from the other side, because the sun comes from over here anyway, but I would at least like some taller plants around this side. I've got a Paulonia that was over there before, and I've put it there because my idea is to maybe get a huge bin or a bucket that I can disguise as something and have the Paulonia, as long as it won't tip up, because it can get to 12 metres I think, so I want to contain it, I don't want to plant it in the floor. The Paulonia is like it's also called the foxglove tree, because it gets flowers on it a bit like a foxglove, like racemes, are they called racemes or something? Eventually as well, I've asked Andy, can I plant some pots on this roof? I could do with a rail going round really. I do believe it is concrete, that roof, so it should be able to hold quite a bit of weight, but I'm not going to put a load of weight on it in case they fall off on my head. Yeah, that wouldn't be amusing, would it? The only other thing I want to do is get that fern out that's there, because the hart's tongue fern is squashed just behind that hosta. I'll probably end up taking that hart's tongue fern out as well, but I just think, I don't know, it needs something in between those two hostas, because that snowflake or snowdrop or whatever it is that's grass now, because I cut the flower heads off, that'll die back and then there'll be a big space there. Although I've got some crocosmia behind there, and I need to get that runner of that sucker of the tetrapanax over there for a friend. You see it? There's a couple actually. There was a couple last year. I was going to dig them up and pot them on, but they've not come back up. These are new ones, so I'll do that. I want a couple for myself to put over here behind the gunnery. And I did try, but they don't look like they're coming back either. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I must tell you some sad news though, and it's very sad for not just Mrs. Nesbitt, who we've always suspected was a cockle, but there's at least one more cockerel amongst them. So my efforts to sex them when they were chicks didn't go well. I thought I were doing well because there did seem to be a big difference in exactly what people were saying on YouTube I was seeing. So I thought I had a really good ratio of hens to cockerels, but those three that I took to the allotment, one of them started crowing. And I was going to swap her, one that looks very similar, but it's turned out as it's a cockerel. I'm just going to have to face up to it. I did dispatch 2 cockerels that had hatched when they were really little, but you can't help getting attached. But I'm just going to have to put it out of my mind and see to it. You can't have cockerels in a residential area, and it's just life, you know. There's too many in the area that people are trying to give them away for free, and they're not able to give them away. So hard as it's going to be, I'm going to have to do it, because I've not actually heard these crowing yet. Andy said he's heard one trying to crow, but you know, I did expect the one. He's flapping away now. Maybe he's keeping quiet because he knows. I've not heard him make an absolute peep. But the other one, his tail's the same. He's got that rooster tail, that cockle tail. So I'm a bit upset. I'm more upset. I'm sure I should be upset about the little lives having to come to an end. But I thought I'd acquired a new skill. I hope you can hear me, it's a bit windy. I thought I'd acquired a new skill of being able to sex chicks. I should have vent sexed them instead, but at the time I was scared of hurting them. So I just did the feather sexing technique. And it's obviously, unless I've misunderstood what was said. I did watch quite a few videos, but obviously I've got it wrong. You know, so anyway. It's a bit sad, isn't it? But yeah, so there's this one that I'd originally thought was a hen. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Keep quiet and you can stay around, you know. But and there's one similar to that but with a green tail. Even this one I'm not 100% now that it's not a cockerel as well. So the three dark ones, not the black one, she's a little hen. These two and the one that looks very similar to that. Maybe cockerels. You got something to say? Oh dear. Right, I'm filming in this shed because I'm hoping that some of the noise from the pub next door, I'll talk quickly while the music's gone down. The music's so loud that I'm scared of getting done for copyright because you can hear it really clearly. So I'll just show you visually and do a voiceover when I get home. It's Southport again, and I got 3 boxes of netting. From Wilko's, and I also got from Wilko's a loganberry. I'm not sure where I'm going to plant that. And also a green grape. I'm not sure if I've lost the green or the black grape in winter, but I thought I'll pick up this green grape, seeing as it's only £2.50. Because my other ones were about £7.99 from a garden centre in Ambleside. I picked up some potato pink fir apple from Dobbies as well. We went to Dobbies. And also some garlic. So only 50p. I thought I'll have a little punt on them. Some parts of it had rotted though and gone soft. But I just separated the cloves and planted those separately. The potatoes had chitted and seemed a bit spongy, but I thought I'll still give those a go anyway. Things had dried out, so I've just soaked them. These are just spur cauliflowers. They just needed a soaking because they must have received too much morning sun where I'd placed them. Also my sage seedlings as well. My celeriac and my cardoons as well. Just needed a bit of a soak. My Swedes had gone a bit dry as well, so I just intended to plant those out this time. So I was just giving them a soak before I planted them in the bed. I placed some of the netting over the fruit bushes, the currant bushes and the raspberries, because some of them had had the berries stripped, it looked like. So I don't like using it in this manner loosely because birds can get stuck, but as an emergency I've just covered it the best I could until I've made my frame, and then I can do it taut over the frame. I'd forgotten my little joints to join the poles together on this occasion, so this is just an emergency measure. The pub's gone quiet, but now I've got a new noise. Somebody's strimming over there. I hope you can hear what I'm saying though still. So I've just done this bed a little bit more further towards my path here. And I'm going to plant the Swedes and the celeriac in there that I had soaking. Then I'm going to try and do as much weeding as I can. I'm going to try and get my lemon balm in there and some sage and whatever other herbs I can on that side of that little path there. If you watched my vlog from the other week, I did uncover this so that creatures could go in and pollinate, but as I've said before, I always get problems with pigeons, and all of this side of them, I mean this has grown back, but something had nibbled all this side of these ones here, so I've just loosely covered it up again since, and they've grown back. One of my potato plants is going a bit yellow. I'm not sure why that is, because it's been treated the same as these ones in the same pot. I have given it a feed in case it's that. Just see how it goes anyway. If anybody knows why, it is getting a couple of brown spots. Please don't say it's blight. It's one of my worst fears because all of my tomatoes got blight for the last 2 years. Yeah. So this is Sunday morning. I don't normally carry my vlog on past Saturday evening, but I just wanted to show you what else I'd bought from Dobbies. Yeah, I sound like I'm always spending, don't I? I suppose it's just this time of year where, you know, anything that has been on my wish list since last year, I start looking for. I'll go and show you. So this clematis looking absolutely gorgeous. It might actually be the same kind as the one just around the corner. That's also looking fab. That'll carry on climbing up the top. Okay, so firstly I went to Dobbies mainly because I needed this plant in particular. This wasn't on my wish list, but this is called pulmonaria or lungwort, and two of our pet rats seem to have some kind of respiratory illness and upper respiratory tract illness, so we've been giving them vitamins and another plant as well, which I cover in a different video, but this plant in particular supports the respiratory system. So as I've explained on the other video that I've partly filmed, please don't judge us on not taking the rats to the vets for antibiotics, but one of my sisters keeps rats as well, and she's had this very same thing in the past with one of hers, and it died anyway, even with antibiotics. So, and I don't think that pumping chemicals into them is the answer myself, and I have been giving them mare's tail to support the immune system and things like that. So, and one of them in particular seems better completely, and the other one that actually had the rattly chest seems a lot more brighter. His chest seems less rattly. He's still rattly but less rattly. So they've had this yesterday and today as well, and they've got vitamins in the water, so that's the reason that I bought that. Okay, so that sorry. I also bought a cucumber crystal lemon, another chili pepper, a Scotch bonnet. This is a really hot one, but apparently there is one that is even hotter than that. And this I saw last time I was in Dobbies, but I just wanted chili peppers last time. But an aubergine, I've never grown aubergines before, so I thought I'll give one of those a go. One of the other things that I bought was a water lettuce for the pond. Now this one's bigger than the ones I've had in the past. I've had smaller ones, and you can grow more by the little offsets that grow off it. It's just a floating one, it just dangles in the water like that. But I had a problem with rats. They'd float to the side of the pond and something was eating them. So the last time I had these, I actually tied a bit of wire around and attached it to the side of the pond so it'd sit in the middle of the pond and not drift to the side. And believe it or not, the rat hauled the wire in and ate it. So I've not worked out how to protect it, because it will float to the side if I don't do something. And then there's this, an oxygenating plant. I'm not sure how to protect this from the fish. Any oxygenating plants that I've had in the past have all been absolutely decimated. This one's red stemmed parrot's feather, so I've also got to work out how I can protect that and get it to grow even bigger, so much so that it can withstand the fish having a nibble. So wish me luck with that. Now I got two things that they're either bargains or were a complete waste of money. Jerusalem artichokes, which were only 49p. There were 3 tubers in. Now they were one of them looks like it might grow back. Two of them looked absolutely bone dry. So whether that's been a waste of money or not, but I thought at 49p I'm going to have a little gamble on that. And how many was in this? Oh, 3 lily bulbs. They looked really dry as well, like they tried sprouting but nobody had bought them, and they looked really dry. But I remember Connor, when he used to be in mainstream school, brought a little bulb home that they planted, and that went the same. That went really dry. But a miracle happened and it did sprout, so I thought I'm going to try anyway. I'll only have wasted £1.48. Yeah, so oh, that water, is it water lettuce or water cabbage? Not sure if it gives the name. No, it just says on that the pistia. I've not looked it up, I just know it as the common name. And also I'd ordered these off eBay mid last week, so they arrived quicker than they said they would. Some cotton seeds. Now you're supposed to plant these in probably early spring. They need a long hot growing season. People grow them as an annual normally, but they are a perennial in the native places, wherever they're grown for food. Not food. I'm not going to eat cotton, are you? But they are a perennial anyway. So I've got heating implements. I've got one of those under soil heating cables that I used to use to keep my tarantulas warm, that I used to keep, and all sorts. So I could keep the plant warm with that, but I need some grow lights, because I have put just 5 of them in some tissue paper just to germinate them. I've put them at the top of the fish tank because it's nice. The fish tank's gone tropical again now that the goldfish are out, and I've had these before and they germinated really quickly on top of the fish tank. And the plants did keep going, they seemed fine, but as it got to the end of winter it was like they'd had enough and they were like, I don't want to carry on. So I did eventually lose them. They need 15 degrees, well they'll start to grow at 15 degrees. Our house gets far colder than that, I would say 8 or something like that our house was at, so they were still surviving, but like I said, it was just too long a period of cold, I think. So I've just tried to germinate 5. I only put them in yesterday, and I'll save the rest for next spring, because I didn't want to do too many, because I don't know what setup I can provide for them, so I don't want a load of big plants to have to deal with. And I actually bought those from speedyseeds.co.uk, and you get a little 15% off discount code for next time you order something from them. So really pleased with them. It says 30 seeds at least. There's actually 32 that I received, so that's really good. Yes, so that's it for this week's vlog. I don't think of anything else to tell you. So thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate your support, and thank you to all those that have already subscribed. If you have any requests of things you'd want me to show or anything at all, just comment about anything you want. Anyway, thank you, and bye till next week.